So there I was, this 22-year-old naive kid, fresh out of college, and I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And so I was living in South Florida at the time. This is back in '05, '06, and I was clueless. But I was determined, and it was a telltale sign that I knew, somewhat knew, what kind of direction I wanted to lead. And so I stayed in South Florida. I challenged myself to test the waters, if you will, and I decided to take on a Fortune 500 company job that presented itself. And at first, I was enjoying life, making good money, and but I wasn't truly happy. I wasn't truly happy because I wasn't in charge. I wasn't the leader of the wolf pack, if you will, and things started taking a turn for the worse. I started getting micromanaged terribly, and I said, you know what, thanks but no thanks. I learned a lot, especially about myself, and I learned quite arguably the most important thing that I have learned about myself to date, and it's the fact that I just simply can't work for anyone else. I don't see myself fulfilling or helping to fulfill anyone else's dreams but my own. And ever since then, I think I made a promise to myself that I would, prioritize my workflow. I would chase every single idea to at least some extent in my head, and try to make every single one of them a reality. And my very first mobile app is, I want to say, just around the corner. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I do have other partners involved, and so things get a little tricky. And if you're an entrepreneur like myself, wanting to make these things happen, then you're obviously well aware of all of these discrepancies and contingencies of becoming that one entrepreneur that has a big break. And so admittedly, I'm making this video because if you are at a crossroad, if you are doubting yourself, if you are falling victim to negativity creeping its ugly head around the corner, I'm telling you to stop. Okay, stop whatever it is you're doing, go back to square one, analyze, and think about, like the quote says, all the reasons why you started. If you're anything like me, you want to be in the driver's seat of your life. You want to be, grabbing it by the horns and, leading the way. And, admittedly, it's tough for me to actually admit this on camera, but, I'm all about transparency, and I had to take a job. I had to, get myself acclimated with the corporate world again. Somebody made me an offer. Uncle Sam, actually. I am a federal employee right now, and the time is it's consuming me. I'm very tired all the time. It's long hours, but the pay is great, which is essential for entrepreneurs like many of you watching this and myself to invest in yourself and save up some capital and fund your dreams and goals and ambitions. And so, it feels like a step back because I always preach about, that eagle that flies solo as opposed to, the hundreds of pigeons that flock together. But you know what? There has to have some sort of happy medium. You have to bridge the gap somehow. And in order to get from A to point B, you have to, bite the bullet sometimes. And, if it means taking 2 steps back to take 3 forward, then by all means do it. I don't want to get discouraged because I had to take this 2 steps back. I want to, capitalize on all the knowledge that has brought me here and use it as a trampoline, as a slingshot, if you will. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm very excited about the things that are upcoming. I'm very excited about the now near future as opposed to distant. And I feel as though I'm in control of my life because I find myself just radiating positivity as opposed to thinking of all the things that could go wrong. And I think that if you're an entrepreneur like myself, who's at a crossroad, at a standstill sometimes, at least it feels that way, I encourage you to not give up, not give in, and not surrender to, outside forces, whether it's like negativity from your friends or even family members that all of a sudden don't support your far-fetched dreams. And I don't want you to feel like you were sitting at a stoplight and it's never going green. I don't want you to cave. I don't want you to surrender to anything else that's pretty much not beyond your control, or not in control, I should say. And man, I know it's rough. I know it's tough to have this one idea in your head and not have it go away, and it's always right there in front of you. And I know it's tough to make things happen. I know there's a lot of factors involved in being an entrepreneur, but I urge you to monitor the situation as best as you can. I encourage you to work on your strength and develop your weaknesses. I encourage you to not quit. You're not a quitter. I don't want you to give up ever. I mean, if you're following me for more than a year, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or on Instagram, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter what happens to you. What matters is, like the quote says, how you react to everything around you. And I think that if you always focus on the silver lining, I think if you focus on those things that could potentially make you great, then good things are going to happen. It's almost inevitable. Trust me.